How many clients do you really need to get actually booked out for you to feel like, oh my God, I can't take it anymore. I need a wait list. You don't need 100 clients at once. You need 3, 4, 5, 10, depending on your team.
10 will kill you. Sometimes I look at your posts and there are more comments than likes, which is ridiculous to me. Like, how does that even happen?
That happens because you've never let your audience down, ever.
What is your secret in getting that kind of engagement that you're getting, specifically people commenting on your posts?
If you want to get through to people, you first got to get in front of people. And commenting makes it so much easier because it gives you that added visibility without depending on an algorithm.
Everybody thinks that the minute you need social to work for you, then you begin the work. But that was like 3 years ago. You have to be planting the seeds because otherwise all your posts wind up being super transactional. I don't know if you've noticed, the LinkedIn reach is not as generous as it used to be. People are like, oh my God, it's hard now. And I told y'all, get on it while the gravy was hot and fresh, and you waited until everybody got on it, and that's the problem. So do you first see that it's getting a little bit harder to get the reach for regular folks?
There's a really cool psychological point to this, Chris.
I don't like that answer.
Why, man?
You're trying to pull like a Obi-Wan Kenobi trick on us.
No, man.
It is.
Okay, let me just ask, are you doing it? Do you have that habit?
Well, okay, go ahead. Wait, hold on. We have a person who is probably the king of LinkedIn. When he posts, instantly there are likes and comments that are just off the hizzle, as the kids would say. And I'm astonished myself personally because sometimes I look at your posts and there are more comments than likes, which is ridiculous to me. Like, how does that even happen? But in case you don't know, my guest, Jasmin, he started out his LinkedIn journey by figuring out a different approach, which I love because everybody's doing the same thing. How would you stand out if you do the same thing? So he started this whole commenting strategy, which I had not heard of before prior to him talking about it. And it's worked effectively. And now it's gone way beyond that, obviously. And he runs a whole community, he teaches lots of people. He speaks on global stages on how to grow your LinkedIn. The timing could not be better because LinkedIn as a social platform got legit a couple years ago. Prior to that, it was a resume site. And now I'm actively encouraging people who want to use it to express themselves, but also to grow an audience of potential clients and customers. You could not be at a better place than LinkedIn. And LinkedIn is very serious about this. And so this is our third conversation together. And I have no idea what we're going to talk about, but you're here, you're in town. It's good to do the live thing. You're a lot taller and bigger than I expected. He went to hug me earlier and I felt like almost crushed as a human. Like in the trash compactor in Star Wars Episode 4, The New Hope. I was like, I was in there with you.
I'm a hugger, man.
Yeah, okay.
What's up, Chris? You good?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm recovering, but I'm good.
Okay.
No bruises.
I get that a lot. Like, you're tall. I feel like everyone who walked in a room were greeting me like, you're taller. And I'm like,
I suspect you're tall because I've seen some photos with you with other people, and either they're really short or you're tall.
No, I'm really
my
tall.
conclusion.
6'5".
How tall are you?
6'5".
You're 6'5".
196.
Oh,
So we're talking Euro.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, you're gonna make Driegel feel short now. He's only 6'3".
He said the same thing. As soon as I walked in, like, dude, you're tall.
Yeah. We should just have a podcast with giants. We have it with Caleb, who's like 6'6", I think. Caleb's a huge dude too.
It's kind of funny because back when I was a rapper, my whole like records thing was called Giants Records.
Giants Records.
Yeah.
Well, having just briefly mentioned that, I know you posted online about in another life you were a rapper.
Yeah.
So can you drop some bars on us? Can we kick it off?
I retired, man.
No.
I keep telling everyone, if you're hearing any bars from me, it's when you drive in with me in the car. And we just hosted a global community in Bosnia, a global community meetup in Bosnia. And we have folks from 12 countries. And those who were riding with me in my car when we were doing a road trip, I played in some of my music and I was performing live. And I was like, this is it. Outside of these doors, outside of these 8 pillars, you're not hearing from me. And I'm trying to stick to it, man. Don't push me there.
I want to push you there. I always encourage people to share their talents, their gifts, the things that make them uniquely themselves. And if I could rap, I would rap. If I could sing, I would literally be singing right now. If I had a 6-pack, I'd rip off my shirt right now and we'd just be sitting here with my 6-packs in all its glory. It's not there, so that's not happening. If I could dance, I'd dance right on here. All I got is my voice and my brain, so I'm going to use the most of that and my sense of style. So I'll give you one opportunity.
We were just doing it earlier when we were doing a mic check. Because back in the day, nobody was rhyming really fast. And then when Eminem's Rap God came out, I was like, "Someone I'ma do my lemma, you assuming I'm a human, what I gotta do to get it through." It's like easy. Everyone was like, "Oh, that's the hardest verse ever." I'm like, "It's easy, that's easy." But yeah, back in the day, we did a lot. I dropped 6 albums, man. Warner Brothers music deal.
Really?
Yeah, I did X Factor. I was on MTV. I was in the media every day.
X Factor on what? In
X
what
Factor
country?
Adria. So that was like Bosnia, Croatia, Serbia, Slovenia.
Wow.
Yeah. It was nice.
So
It was a nice time period for sure.
At least 2 musical people in this room, you and somebody else, but we'll talk about that person later. But okay, that's very cool. So you gave us a little taste of that. Let's get into it. I have the question. I want to just kick this off, and then we flow whatever direction you want to take this in. What is your secret in getting that kind of engagement that you're getting, specifically people commenting on your posts? So for people who don't understand this, who are looking at this, like, this seems unreal. It's very atypical, especially like right now. I don't know if you've noticed, the LinkedIn reach is not as generous as it used to be. People are like, oh my God, it's hard now. And I told y'all, get on it while the gravy was hot and fresh, and you waited until everybody got on it, and that's the problem. So do you first see that it's getting a little bit harder to get the reach for regular folks?
Yeah, I feel like LinkedIn has gone through this change where you got about 600 million more people active on the platform. And with that, obviously, they can't be as generous, right? Think of the algorithm, or think of reach as like a finite number, and they get to spread it out across all its users, right? It's like, how much can you get? Like, that's the game. The problem begins when people look at the numbers that only they see. So I feel like it's a mixture of a lot of things. The first aspect of it is we're the only ones who see our impressions, and we often get discouraged. But this has happened to me so many times, and I know this for a fact that this has happened to a lot of people in this room as well, probably to you as well. Like, when people meet you for the first time, you go somewhere, you travel, and they're like, oh my God, you're crushing it on LinkedIn. Meanwhile, you're here hating yourself because your reach sucks. And it's, it has sucked for the past 2 to 3 years. It's like, what's true? So I feel like we focus too much on how little we're getting. We're actually getting a lot. We don't need that much reach. Reach is just an estimate, by the way. LinkedIn came out, they said it. Reach is just an estimate, right? I feel like the things that you can measure, the profile views, the DMs that you get, it's much more important. So that's number one. Now, the other part is consistency. And I don't just mean consistency in posting. I mean consistency in how you post. One of my biggest gripes with folks on LinkedIn is they schedule content. I want to ask a question, and I've never, ever gotten a good answer, because I'm like hell-bent on proving my point when it comes to scheduling. My question is, why do we schedule posts?
Good question.
Genuinely, why do we schedule posts? Because if you tell me,
yeah.
Because if you tell me, oh, so I can get it out of the way, make sure it's out there, and I'm like, finish that sentence. Make sure it's out there even if I'm not there. That's usually the reason. And I'm like, well, if you're not there, why the hell would you be posting in the first place? Which brings me to my second point, posting and ghosting. Big mistake. A lot of people do this. We were talking about engagement. We're talking about how you publish a post and there's thousands of initial reactions and comments, right? That happens because you've never let your audience down, ever. How many times have you commented on a creator's post, especially a big creator's post, that never gotten a response? It's happened a lot of times.
That's the majority of the time, actually.
I know.
Right.
But it's like when you build this tradition, this culture of, oh, I know he's there. I know it's him. I know it's not AI. I know it's not a bot. I know it's not a VA or personal assistant. I know it's him personally. And then my rule is also, which brings me to point number 3, my rule is, if I don't have time to be there, I'm not going to post. LinkedIn doesn't run me. I run my own LinkedIn, right? It's not my life. It's just part of my life. So this happened this week. For example, I got up, my back hurt like hell. I'm like, I can't stand up. And it was 6:25 New York time. I'm supposed to post at 6:30. And I'm like, I'm not going to do it. I can't be there. I'm too late. To like really prove my point, I post at 12:30 European time. Like, that's my posting time, 12:30. If I come home at 12:31, I'm not posting. I'm late. I'm away 23 hours and 59 minutes to post my next post. I'm not going to do it because I know someone's out there waiting. It's like the news, right? If you're late, when are we going to get the news? What's going on? Something's wrong. But the other part is, whenever people see you, you keep your promise. And when you do the scheduling thing where the content is more important than the relationships, the post is more important than the comments and the interactions you have with people, that's when you're literally telling your audience, yeah, you don't matter to me. I see it like that. I'm pretty extreme when it comes to that. So if you put the content first, not the interactions first, you're doing social media wrong. That's why I'm a big advocate of not posting daily. People say you should post every day for the maximum exposure. That's not true. You could be commenting daily. Because in the feed, there's a really cool psychological point to this, Chris. In the feed, when you're scrolling LinkedIn, to the human brain, it does not matter whether people see your post or they see your comment. It doesn't matter. They see your face and they see your words. That's what matters, right? Because if you're just so hell-bent on posting and posting and posting and posting, and you don't really take care of the commenting bit, you might be doing it every day. Hell, that's like 7 times. Oh, okay. But if you skip some posts, that allows you to now, you're not on anyone's timeline, including your own. There's not a clock. There's not a shot clock that's counting down, right? So when you're just logging in every day, 10, 15 minutes, you leave a few comments, people will be seeing you throughout the entire day. So there's no pressure. I feel like the whole commenting versus posting game for me is just, I'm everywhere. And I get to be everywhere, in the feed, in every region, in every time zone, and there's no pressure on my life. I don't have to be there at a very specific time. Because again, if I'm not there, if I'm just 1 minute late, I'm simply gonna skip a post. I'm gonna skip a day. It's totally fine. So when people ask me like, hey, how much do you post? I'm like, 4 times max, Monday through Thursday. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I don't work. I'm spending time with my son. And if during those first 4 days of the week, I happen to skip a post, I happen to travel, I'm on a plane, I'm doing something, I'm gonna just skip a day. And if it just so happens that I'm traveling the entire week, I'm gonna skip the entire week. LinkedIn doesn't run me, I run it.
So I know this is weird for me to say, but life goes on if you don't post.
No, absolutely.
It's kind of weird. You're like, no, it can't, Chris. The world crumbles. It's like that scene from Inception, the buildings start to crumble along the beach. That's what people think.
Yeah.
And so there's a bunch of things I want to pick up on and then do a follow-up with you. Okay, so how many people in this room are scheduling your posts? Come on. It's okay if you raise your hand.
That's okay. How many times have you scheduled a post in the past?
I even know you could schedule a post, to be honest.
There we go.
I didn't even know that was a feature.
No, the LinkedIn scheduler, to be fair, was a pretty hit or miss feature back in the day. It's like sometimes you schedule it, it doesn't go through.
Is that right?
Which was so funny. It's like you're waiting for your own post, and it just doesn't get posted. It's like, what the hell's going on? So that used to happen. Okay.
I'm not here to LinkedIn shame anybody. If you schedule, you schedule. But the reason why we schedule is because we're not going to be around.
Yes.
That's all. And so you're creating an expectation, a relationship with people that you just want their eyes and their attention, but you're not going to give them any more. And I know some authors and some semi-famous celebrity type people, they just post and they're not there. And there's no expectation that they would be there, but the kind of engagement that they're going to get with the community is very different.
To your point about celebrities and bigger accounts, they got the brand name, they got the authority, they can pretty much do whatever they want, right? And ultimately, you don't even care if they respond. You just want to be part of the conversation and you want to be seen in that place. But that's not 99% of people on LinkedIn or on social media in general. Like, we're trying to build our audiences. We're trying to earn that trust. And you don't earn it by not being there. Like, you really got to be there. And again, it doesn't matter how often you're posting. It matters how often you're actually showing up and responding to people. And if you can do it every day, it's fine. There's no rule that says you got to post every single day. But there is a rule, that this is my rule, and I'm hell-bent on teaching and coaching it to people. Never post and ghost, ever. I don't care what's going on. I don't care how big of a post it is, how big of an announcement you have to make. If you're not there in that first minute to start responding to those initial comments, skip your post. The algorithm is also going to punish you, by the way, because what we know of the LinkedIn algorithm, it analyzes the first hour, the golden hour of content, and then it decides how to distribute it further to your second degree and your third degree connections. And the way it works basically is LinkedIn looks at your first degree connections, right? So if the people closest to you, right, are engaging and you're not responding back, it also goes vice versa. If your content sucks, like not every post is gonna hit. If LinkedIn shows it to your first degree connections and they're not engaging, that also means it's not going to get pushed further in hour 3, hour 4, and moving forward. So, it goes both ways. But I feel like the commenting bit is so easy to do and people are just not doing it. It's a cop-out. Like, scheduling is a cop-out. I don't believe in scheduling.
Okay. So second rule, second nugget here is You're not famous enough to post and ghost. And if you are, you're not listening to us anyway, so God bless you. Be well, friend, right?
Yeah, you don't need us anyhow.
All right, let's keep going. Did you want to say something?
If we're using LinkedIn as a marketing tool, and so engaging with comments, if it takes time, it could become in and of itself a full-time job. How do we handle that?
Okay. Let me repeat the question in case we have some audio troubles. The question is, if you're saying we post and then we have to stick around and respond to the comments to encourage people to comment and engage with our posts, that can turn into a part-time, full-time job. How do you process that?
I disagree with the question first.
Okay,
Things
go ahead.
first, okay? See, the way it was phrased, it becomes a full-time job. Incorrect. It becomes a full-time habit. Big difference. Full-time job means you're doing it all day, you're wasting your time. No, full-time habit means you could be doing it for 30 minutes a day, and it brings you results. How many times, like be honest, how many meetings in your calendar do you have per day where you were like, this could have been an email? Use that. Move that time slot. What I tell to every CEO client of mine, especially folks who are running teams of hundreds and thousands of people, right? Schedule your LinkedIn time. Schedule it. Put it in your work calendar. That's what I do. That's what I've been doing for years. Put LinkedIn in your work calendar. Literally create a LinkedIn block of time. It could be a LinkedIn hour. It could be 30 minutes. I don't care how much. But when you build that habit where during that time period, you're doing nothing but commenting, just commenting, the results just show up. They really do. I've been doing this for 4 years straight. Every week, 1,000+ comments. And I'm not using AI. I don't use any automation tools. I don't even have a VA. I don't have an assistant for LinkedIn. I'm the only person who has access to my LinkedIn to this day. And I want to keep it that way because I have a habit. At 12:30, my family knows this, my friends know this, my community knows this, my clients know this. At 12:30, I do not exist for 1 hour because I'm only in the LinkedIn comments. And I'm super fast. Because it's a habit, because you've been doing it for years and you're doing a whole, filter by most relevant, filter by most recent, add a pinned comment here and there. I'm able to get anywhere between 150 to 250 comments, replies, specifically in the first hour, which is nuts.
Okay.
Right?
To clarify, you're saying in a given week, you're going to write 1,000 replies.
1,000 comments total.
Right.
I mean, and more, obviously, including replies, including comments on other people's.
Guys.
Yeah.
That is a lot. Okay,
but do the math, right? If I'm posting 4 days out of a week, and only in that LinkedIn hour, I'm able to do 250. That's already 1,000 comments. Not to mention, during the day, you're logging in for 10 or 15 minutes, you're leaving comments on other people's posts. And I'm able to do that fairly quickly because my feed is hella optimized. I'm just scrolling, leaving a comment, scrolling, leaving a comment. I'm leaving really good comments, meaning I get notifications back because people are now responding, and then you reply back. It's like this whole chain of events. So when you say it, like that, 1,000 comments per week for 4 years straight, it sounds like, this guy is a madman. Yeah, and I'm not doing that, but it's really not that hard. When you just build that habit, it's not that hard.
But you are a madman, and it's okay to say that. Okay,
yes.
there is, like Michael Phelps became like the most decorated Olympian of all time because every single day he was in the pool for 6 hours a day? Every day, every single day. If you want to be the best at anything, it's going to take some work. And so we can acknowledge that.
Okay.
Right? You never skip practice. You always show up. You put your time in the mat in the gym. You don't have cheat days. You just do what you need to do.
Yep.
Now,
do you like the answer? It's not a full-time job. It's a full-time habit.
I don't like that answer.
Big mindset shift. What?
I don't like that answer.
Why, man?
You're trying to pull like a Obi-Wan Kenobi trick on us.
No, man.
It is 30
okay. Let me just ask:
work,
are you doing it? Do you have that habit?
Okay, go ahead. Wait, hold on. Let me first clearly articulate my challenge to you, and then we can get into debate mode. I'm going to do this for you, okay? So, Jasmin was saying, it's not a job, it's not work, it's a habit. But basically, I have finite habits. I have units of time. Yeah. And you're trying to reframe it as something else. But literally, it's the same concern he has, which is I have a lot of things competing for my time and attention. I love your answer. I'm just trying to acknowledge it's just a sleight of hand word change. If that works for you, bravo. Now go ahead, push back.
But if it matters to you, you're going to find those 30 minutes during the day.
100%.
There you go.
100%, but it still work. Like I work out in the gym. I'm working out.
Yeah, if we rephrase it as work, obviously everything is work, right? We're sitting down right here. It's work, right? But it's like, if it matters to you, you can 100% find those extra 30 minutes in your day. But it's not even extra 30 minutes. You can just switch it out with something else. Because there's a lot of
Right.
things we do during the day.
Which I love that answer better, which is you're wasting your time all the time. You're working on things that don't actually help you gain authority, build clients, build reach and engagement, build community. Why not choose a better use of your time since we have finite time? Yeah? Did you have a follow-up? You're good now? See how good we are? You
There
didn't
you
even
go,
need to do
man.
the follow-up. That's how good we are. Is it Gwen?
By the way, I love that we disagree because you and I usually agree on everything.
Well, we're here live. You know, it's going to
There
get a
we
little
go.
feisty, everybody. Okay, I'm just trying to be a practical pragmatist.
I want to follow up on that because I want to throw you some honor here. When I started following you, I found that comments are actually easier because the pressure is off of me because somebody is giving me something to respond to. And then I follow those comments and look at the impressions, and most of my content now comes from my comments.
Oh, absolutely.
So
You follow the formula.
It's not work. It's actually helpful. Not that I want to argue with you, but I'm just saying that, again, another reframe, that it actually exercises my writing abilities. And I learned that from you, you know. So
Thank you for that. Appreciate that. To your point, I also want to say that there's something about commenting that we don't often think about, and it's commenting is writing as well. I feel like we only consider posts as a writing exercise. No, commenting is also a writing exercise because you're still activating the same area of your brain. You're trying to create something. You're trying to create information and put it out there. And it really doesn't matter if it's 50 lines long or if it's just a 3-liner comment. It's still content. And ultimately, you get a lot of ideas from your own thoughts. It's like whenever clients come to you and they're like, yeah, I have no idea what to post on LinkedIn. It's like, come on, man. Just take a look at your own comments, right? The stuff that you're writing by yourself. Just scroll back. I used to have that habit. I don't do it anymore. Now I just do it on the fly. Like every single day, when I'm done with the entire day, I would open up LinkedIn and I would go to all activity and I would click on comments and I would scroll back, yes, through the hundreds of comments I'm leaving every day. I would scroll back through every single comment, trying to find some post ideas. And every day I could literally easily find 4, 5, 10 post ideas based on the stuff that I've already put out there. Now I just got to expand it. It's really a great content writing exercise, commenting.
The other benefit is that it increases my followers and my engagement on my profile because the people who see my comment and value it come over to me.
Like, who's this lady?
That's the thing I was saying earlier. It does not matter how people see you in the feed. The end result is going to be the same. You're still going to get profile views, which is ultimately the first metric we want from our content, profile views. And then you're still going to get clicks on your links, right? And you're still going to get followers. And it really does not matter whether it's a post or a comment. It is all content. Comments are content too.
Yeah.
At least something we all agree on.
Some more than others.
Yeah,
yes.
some more than others for
Yeah.
sure. But it's much easier than writing. I think we can all agree on that. Commenting is 100 times easier than writing, right? Because writing is private. You have all the time in the world, and oftentimes you're overthinking every line, every hook, right? Because there's this pressure of, oh, what are going to people feel? Well, what are they going to think about it? Is it going to go viral? You don't care if a comment goes viral or not, right? You're
No
just
pressure.
writing it. No
Yeah.
pressure.
Low stakes.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of reward, not a lot of pain. And whenever we can have that, why wouldn't we take that? There's a couple of things I want to just to clarify here a little bit. I think there's this definition that goes for what is typography. Typography is thinking made visual, but we can easily just borrow that and say, what is writing? Writing is thinking made visual. So when you're leaving a comment, it's your opportunity to know what it is that you're really thinking, what your ideas are, and that's really important. So if you treat it like that, you're going to do much, much better. Because we all need practice to articulate what it is that we know. Number 2 is, let's talk about work. Okay? I don't have an aversion to work. I know why sometimes for people work is terrible. When you do something and you put your time, energy, and resources towards it and you don't get results, that's horrible work. That's painful work. You could take this to anything, dancing, singing, writing code. If you do something, you don't get results, it's going to feel like work. However, when you do something and you're rewarded for it, it feels amazing. Maybe then we change that word work to play. Because when you're rewarded for the work that you put in and celebrated for it, that feels freaking fantastic. Now, getting back to Akhil's comment, which is, how do I not do this? And I would ask you, because you're a musician, and I know you at least play the keyboard. What else? What other instruments do you play? Keys, piano. Okay. If I were to ask you, how do I become a world famous, celebrated pianist without working at playing, you would say what? See? That was your question, though. How do I become amazing at creating content that gets people to engage so I'm rising above the noise without working? You're crazy. This is the dilemma, and I want to talk about this. We're in America. We're here in Santa Monica. There's a expectation. It's not an age limitation what generation you're in. The expectation is I can get something for nothing. Everything that you get that you don't have to work for is not worth having because it's easy, and that means everyone has it. So be very careful of those people who tell you it doesn't require work, doesn't require talent, doesn't require resources, because that's a lie. Or you're going to get something that's not worth having, period.
Let me read you a quote that I wrote for an upcoming post literally about that topic. I said, I feel like it takes so little to do so much, yet we ask for so much to do so little. Specifically about commenting, specifically about content on LinkedIn, specifically about reach, right? It's like we focus too much on all those lower numbers. We don't need them at all. It's like, how many clients do you really need? I have this conversation with my community all the time. Like, how many clients do you really need to get actually booked out for you to feel like, oh my God, I can't take it anymore. I need a wait list. You don't need 100 clients at once. You need 3, 4, 5, 10, depending on your team.
10 would kill you.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like we're just bombarded with all these, I got X many leads. I got this and that from the post. I made this much money. You don't need that much. You genuinely don't. So whatever your habit on, specifically, we're talking about LinkedIn, whatever your habit on LinkedIn is, whether it's, I'm going to spend way more time in the comment section, I'm going to spend way more time in the DMs, or I'm just going to push out content because I feel like it really attracts the right kind of audience for me. You decide that. I can't tell you that. I can just tell you what works. All of it works. It's just a matter of what you feel like, I can do this every single day. That's where people get stuck. They try to do everything at once, and then they start to hate the process. Focus on this one thing. I know for a fact, for a lot of folks, commenting takes the pressure off. There's no timeline, there's no limit. You can just do it anytime you log in. And it doesn't matter if a post is 1 minute old, meaning you're among the first commenters, and it doesn't matter if it's 1 day old. When you put yourself out there in the feed in front of people, that's when you start to get results. And we can start off a new conversation. I would love to talk about this with you. There's something I always say, because we're battling all these algorithms on social media to get through to people. It's like, I'm not reaching my ICP. That's usually what people say when they're not getting enough conversions. I'm not reaching my ICP. I'm not getting through to my audience. My take on that is, if you want to get through to people, you first got to get in front of people. And commenting makes it so much easier because it gives you that added visibility without depending on an algorithm. You're the one who creates the reach. When you publish something, you depend on the algo to give you the reach. But when you decide, okay, I'm going to spend 30 minutes, I'm going to leave 50 comments today, you're the one who is giving yourself the most reach, especially if you're commenting in all the right locations geographically, in all the right time zone, especially in all the right niches and on the right topics. You got to get in front of people first if you want to get through to them.
Were you going to challenge me with something?
No, I was like, I want to talk to you about this.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the very first thing we said was like, reach is lower.
Yeah, because people are posting about that. They're whining, complaining. And
it
is true.
But they're complaining about something that's like not the biggest problem.
Yeah.
Because commenting fixes that easily. It's like, you're posting. Oh, your posts are not getting enough reach. Cool, comment more, brother. That's going to fix it easily.
Part of my lack of sophistication and ignorance, what is ICP?
Ideal client profile.
Okay.
Because that's what everyone's always complaining about, right? It's like, I'm getting an irrelevant audience in a lot of these followers and a lot of these engagements. Like, people who are commenting, they're not usually my ICP. Like, bro, that's fine. Like, you meet people all the time. It's like, you're not going to sell to every single person. That's a myth. It's like, you meet 10 people, you want to sell to all 10 of them? Come on. What are we talking about, right? It's social media. There's billions of users.
Okay, let's dig into that a little bit deeper because this is something that's a common complaint. Like, I don't want to do social. It doesn't matter if it's on LinkedIn. I don't want to create content because that's not where my customers are. And I think people have this idea that you can just write a post and the 10 CEOs that you want to talk to will automatically see it. As far as I know, and if we disagree, cool. I don't know how to do that. If we could do that, we would just do that. Like you think you're like the world's best sniper, you crawl up on the roof and you see target acquired and you just like fire one shot and they're down. It doesn't really work like that. And it is in the way in the world it works, which is there's something like social proof. So it's like nothing creates more demand than a line. So when you go to some restaurants, you notice this, there's a line out the door and you can't get in. And then there's a restaurant with no line. Which one do you wait? You go for the one with the line. And then finally you get in 30 minutes later and you're like, there are seats everywhere. Why do they do that? Because that's really good marketing.
Yep.
So when you create a piece of content and 9/10 of the audience that shows up isn't your audience, it's okay because it'll attract the 10% that need to be there. Because otherwise this post is dead. You're not going to reach anybody. That's the worst part. I'd rather reach more people and have a lower percentage, but still a higher number of ideal clients seeing it versus a lower reach with no one seeing it and no client seeing it at all. And you know this. You know this for a fact, okay? When you're on YouTube, which is kind of my wheelhouse, you search and there's a bunch of videos that come up. Which one do you look at? You're not going to look at the one with 4 views. You're just not. You're going to look at the one with 4 million views. So nothing creates demand more than having a line or some social proof. Do you agree or disagree?
I agree 99%.
Okay, let's do the one.
Okay, because I have some thoughts on that. So when it comes to reaching your ideal audience on LinkedIn, right? There's this tendency, I want to call it a myth, that you have to be always speaking to your ideal customer. I disagree with that wholeheartedly. Here's what happens. The more niche you go, the deeper you go, right? The smaller that audience bubble becomes. And now for everyone, the challenge is, okay, how do I reach more of this ideal audience? But if it's super small to begin with, how do you find more of them? Because if they're not active even on LinkedIn, they're not going to engage. Like that doesn't give you much room to grow. Like you can't expand a very small bubble. But if you are targeting slightly wider, that exponential growth is much wider. But here's what happens. You don't care if every person in that wider group buys from you. You care about their audience. You care about their networks. And this is what I always tell people when it comes to reaching out to people, connecting with people, specifically commenting on people's posts. They're like, why should I be commenting on that person's post? Like, he's not my ICP. She's not my ICP. I'm like, it's not about them. It's not about the person whose post it is. It's about their network. It's about who's underneath the post, who's in the comments, who's watching it, because then they're going to see you. That's what happens when you go slightly wider, and inside that broader group, you grow much faster, right? And you're going to find your ICP there versus, oh, I'm going to target really, really small, and who am I going to meet? Take, as an example, right? Restaurant chains, food chains, bakery chains. If you're just in one block, how do you go franchise it out internationally? How do you do that? You can't, right? But if you franchise, if you go in a little bit more locations, then you start to get people talking about it. Same thing on LinkedIn. If you're always in the same bubble, if you never leave your hood, you can't meet people around the world, genuinely.
Where's the 1% we disagree?
So the 1% is, so here's the 1% where conversion rates come into play, right? YouTube is, you mentioned YouTube specifically.
Yeah.
There's accounts that genuinely do have a smaller audience and make much more money CPM-wise versus the larger accounts. So it's really not about the view count. It's about the CPM for YouTube. I feel like on LinkedIn, it's about that very specific profile view from your ICP, which you can't put a price on it. You can't really label it. But this is almost like I'm disproving my own point, right? Like go wider. That's why I said 99%, because there is that 1% case where you can have a really niche audience and you could sell more versus going broader, because it depends on your offer. These are individualized cases. Some people sell 10K coaching. Some people sell 50K, 100K program, right? Versus some others are just doing the hourly thing. Hey, 500 an hour. Depends on what you're doing. So in any case, that 1% is really for all the folks who feel like, yeah, I don't need to do that because I'm fine having a small audience because I can still sell in abundance. I can still make millions with my small audience. I don't need to do everything you just said, Jasmin and Chris. That's the 1%. So I really want to leave this room for flexibility for everyone out there who feels like, oh, there's only one way. No. But in general, if you want to grow your audience, you got to target broader, because otherwise you can't find your ICP elsewhere. You just can't. It's mathematically impossible.
I'm going to go back to this because I don't think that 1% is watching this. I don't think that 1% cares. I don't think that 1% is really posting. They're so top of food chain, high ticket price, that there are only 100 people who can afford what they do anyways. So they're not even involved in this equation. And there are lots of people I know that are like this. They do exclusive invite-only retreats. There's not even marketing, and it makes their offer even better that you don't even get to know about unless you know somebody who knows somebody. So for the rest of us who are watching this piece of content, I'm saying the 100%, this is real. Right, and here's the thing, though, and I'd like to search our collective memory banks here. When was the last time you actually went on some kind of search where you can see the results and you can see social proof, where you went to the bottom first? Probably not that often. And if you are one of those people who create videos that get 10 views versus 3 million views, are you getting more conversions? I've never heard of a case like this before. So I think the people who are doing what you're talking about are on a different platform doing something very different.
Yep.
Because I could barely make it past the first 2 most popular videos. And just because I'm a glutton for punishment, maybe because I'm a masochist, sometimes I do go to the one that had 15 views. I'm like, oh, maybe somebody missed a sleeper. It's actually terrible. It is a terrible piece of content. And we have to remember, it's an increasingly complicated world where we have thousands of marketing messages sent to us every single day in every single platform. Our capacity to process is very low. So we're looking for heuristics, little shortcuts to let us know this is an honest person. It could be a profile picture. This is a trustworthy person because they have the pedigree, the educational, the certificates, or because 1 million people are looking at this piece of content right now. And when I say million, I mean relative to the other people's engagement. So he's getting a low point, 1,000 comments, a low point per post, which is 10 times more than what most people get. So that's the version of the 1 million views. So you're going to say, I need to read this now. And you don't have a choice because LinkedIn is going to serve you that 110 times more, whatever the number is, more than the other posts. You don't even get to see the other posts. So they die in anonymity. So if we're playing the game of content, and I just had a conversation with a good friend of mine today, it's like, don't delude yourself that if you write a book and you don't care if anybody reads it, please. If you're going to make the effort to put out your art into the world, it needs to be appreciated by people. So let's just get over that it's not purely about, because I wanted to do something artistic. It's not that.
By the way, I do have a counterpoint to that, to literally just what you said, and that's why it's still 99%. LinkedIn is this very specific social platform where exactly what you just said now, sometimes it's going to give a lot more reach to the post that has 5 reactions. I'm not even kidding.
Really?
5 reactions, yes. And I know this for a fact because I got people in my community who are analyzing all the analytics. Like that post, I can actually pull it up. So case in point. So something I've done this morning.
You have this bookmarked?
No, I'm on LinkedIn.
I can barely find anything on LinkedIn.
I'm on LinkedIn.
You're like, I got this right now.
So I posted this morning, 9 hours ago. And the post so far, 9 hours so far, has 2.9 thousand reactions. So 3K reactions and 1.7 thousand comments. 1.7 thousand, yes, that's
a good
holy
post.
moly. To everyone who's looking at it, they're like, oh my God, he's getting millions of views, right? This post, can you read out the number, please?
What am I looking at?
59,000 views.
Impressions.
Yes, 59,000. There we go. I was waiting for those looks. There we go. 59,000 impressions. Meanwhile, I know this for a fact. Folks in my community, they're getting 10 likes and 2 comments per post. They're getting 200,000 views. 200,000 views. Just because the algorithm doesn't necessarily always reward the engagement, but your audience will. So this is nothing wrong that you said. It's just that LinkedIn likes to do things differently. They are doing their best to reward small creators. They're actually not in the business of rewarding bigger creators these days, which is actually a great motivational piece of information for probably everyone listening to this and watching this. How many views did you get on your last post?
I'm looking.
Because you probably didn't get 1,700 comments.
This was really interesting here. No, I didn't.
Yeah.
So this is a carousel I put out. It has 1,100 something odd reactions.
Yeah.
It has 262 comments and has 56,000 impressions.
Yeah, 56,000.
Yeah.
See, but it's like 5x less.
It's very similar.
Yeah, but it's
in
like,
terms of impressions.
But in terms of engagement, it's like much lower.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm telling you, there's cases where it's like super duper low numbers, public facing numbers, the stuff we all see, but like behind the scenes, LinkedIn is actually rewarding those creators.
All right.
So
let's talk about that.
Oh yeah, LinkedIn is in this new business now, man. Like smaller creators get the get the nicer piece of the pie, the bigger piece.
Yeah. So LinkedIn, relative to other social platforms, is late to the game. And so if you see what other platforms have done, then you'll know exactly where LinkedIn is going, according to my logic, right? So in the wild, wild west days of YouTube, they rewarded content for the best creators. And what they found is it unfairly or fairly shares all the traffic with a handful of creators, which demotivates people from creating content. That's a big, big problem. So a while back, they're like, you know what? Subscriber count doesn't matter. Follower count doesn't matter. Every piece of content fights for its own audience. That way, we're encouraged. So someone with 5 subscribers or followers can have a video that goes viral and get millions of views versus someone who has millions of followers who can get 100 views. They have to democratize this if they want people to continue to create. And so we're probably seeing the beginnings of that, or we're in the transition period. Okay.
Yes, we are, in fact. And you've seen some of those beta tests that they were running, like boost the post, boost this, boosting posts.
Okay.
Like you got to throw money at the content to actually get the visibility. So like you said, we've seen this time and time again with different social media platforms, with different content platforms where, yes, they have to incentivize the smaller creators, right, to keep creating content, because otherwise it's just going to be the same old faces, and they're never going to grow as a company. They're never going to get new users. So that's what's happening right now on LinkedIn, where everyone's saying, hey, it's harder to grow. I actually disagree. If you're just now getting into LinkedIn, if you don't have a profile, or you've had a profile for 10, 15 years, right, since the old days, you can start posting now, and you can actually crush it, like genuinely crush it, because the platform will reward you. It will feature you. It will recommend you in different feeds in different regions, because that's what they need in order to grow. That's really what they need. But there is a way. The next step is usually paid. Everyone's going to have to, in some shape or form, pay.
You think so?
Sorry?
You think so? Is this happening? Pay to play?
I really do. Not entirely. Like YouTube is still not, right? You don't have to pay, right?
Instagram either.
But look at LinkedIn's business model, though, right? They're owned by Microsoft. They're like, I'd say just me looking in, like 80% of their revenue comes from LinkedIn Premium. So or LinkedIn ads, right? So if they want to keep incentivizing their users, they're going to have to keep pushing us to pay for that, and so that we actually get the most out of the platform. Because when you really look at how we're creating business now, so this was so sneaky. Just 2 months ago, they removed the blue link, the clickable link on the profile. They removed it. The link that was there forever, for 22 years, it was always there. They removed it. Now you can only get a clickable link on the premium plan. For businesses, for anyone who's a coach, who's a service provider on LinkedIn, who's trying to get conversions, trying to get clicks, now it's almost impossible to get these clicks without premium. So you have to pay, right? This is just one small step in a plethora of steps that they're doing.
I know I'm a nothing burger to LinkedIn, but if you guys switch to a pay-to-play model, I'm off. I will not recommend this anymore. This is literally what happened to Facebook. That's why I got off of Facebook, and I'm done. And I think Facebook has corrected a little bit, course corrected, but it's terrible. They wanted to make money. Zuckerberg was like, we need to make $1 gazillion billion. Cool. I think LinkedIn, hopefully they watch that and they're like, okay, that's how you destroy your community really, really fast.
100%.
I like this idea that if you pay a pretty nominal fee for premium, which gives you better metrics, analytics as who's looking at it, I think it's an easy decision. Yep. And if getting a little linkable thing that helps you with conversions, that's fair play to me. At least let me make content, let me get the reach I want, because that's how you're going to compete in this world. Otherwise, people will abandon ship really fast. Gwen?
Content creators that have a large following, one is actually Aaron Gallagher, for instance, and they are posting that they're going off premium because they're not seeing the benefits. And I just wondered if you had something to say about that.
For me, the biggest benefit of premium is the opportunities to reach out to people. You get these in-mail credits. Like on LinkedIn, the thing is, if you're not connected with someone, by default, you can't message them. You can't. You have to be connected in order to message them. So with the premium plan, you get something called in-mail, meaning you can mail that person in, or you can message them without being connected to them, but you get credits, right? So the more you pay for it, the more credits you get. And if you're someone who does outreach, who reaches out to clients directly, who does direct sales, right? Whether it's cold outreach or warm outreach, doesn't matter. You need this. You genuinely need this. But if you've already got a large audience, and if you do get inbound business without having to ever reach out to people, you genuinely don't need premium. You know, I don't know what Aaron's model is. If he gets a whole lot of inbound leads and inbound business, right? then he doesn't need it. He's right. But I'm saying, like, there's all these moves that they're making where for the average user on LinkedIn, selling is going to get increasingly more difficult. Because I'm just going to give you the example, right? The blue link, right? Bingo. That same link is now sticky in the home feed, right underneath your name. It's right there in the home feed. You don't even have to visit the profile to find the link. It's right there below your headline. Second thing, autoresponders in your DMs. Like, you're not online, you're not there. You can set an away message. You can't set that if you don't have premium, right? Analytics, who's viewed your profile? That's super important. Like, if I post a piece of content and it goes viral, I go to my analytics. I want to see my profile viewers. I want to see exactly who came from which post. Without premium, I can't see that. So there's a list of things where premium is genuinely useful, even if you're not selling at scale. Like, you're not doing millions and millions of dollars. Even if you're just selling a basic, 1K offer, premium is worth it. Like, genuinely worth it. I want to talk about something. Okay, I want to talk about selling inside your posts. It's a hot topic on LinkedIn always. I'm someone who's known for almost never, like, even the almost is like, you can cop that out, never selling inside of my posts. And yet we have a booked out coaching business. We have a phenomenal, fast growing paid community. Everything's working. And the question is how? I'm of the opinion that you don't have to sell in your content to sell from your content. Big believer in that. Big, super big believer in that. It's the classic, tofu, mofu, bofu, like top of the funnel, like super broad, educational. Middle of the funnel, you're like speaking slightly more directly to your ICP. You're speaking of a pain point. Bottom of the funnel is like you're directly selling in your post. Like, hey, I'm running a workshop. I have an offer. Here's the link. You don't miss it. Blah, blah, blah. Like, that's bottom of the funnel. Like, you're really, really selling it hard. The problem with those kind of posts, and I have all the analytics to support this, hundreds of people, maybe thousands of people, those posts will not get that kind of reach. So, like, you're killing your own sales. Because just think about it psychologically. If you're scrolling through the feed and you see someone selling their offer, especially if they're on a launch roll, right? It's like a week-long launch. You're not going to like every single one of those posts. Just because every time you like someone's salesy post, I'm not saying nobody should be doing it, but, like, hear me out. It's mathematical. People are endorsing you. And if people only follow you, they haven't worked with you, they can't really endorse you. How can you endorse someone who you've never worked with that much? Like, I'm talking every single day, especially if they're selling every single day. By default, I'm telling you, you can test this out. You'll see it for yourself. If you're at a bottom of the funnel post, unless you're doing some growth hacking, like comment this word, I'm going to send you that. Don't do that. That post is not going to fly. Like, you're literally going to kill your own reach. So my point to everyone who's doing that directly in the post every single day is, why are you killing your own sales? Like, you're selling in the post. Like, that's the only purpose of the post. You're selling, and it's like you're going to get 50 likes, and, like, the reach is going to be 500 views versus a regular post is going to get hundreds of thousands of views. Like, why would you do that? My whole way is start off wide and then go niche inside the post. Mention it. Mention your offer somewhere in the middle, but don't make the selling the focus of the post. The selling inside the post is just on the fly. And you can do this every single day. No one will get overwhelmed. No one will feel like, oh, I'm always selling to, this guy's always asking for something. But you can always, like, let's say I run a paid community, right? I tag link up in my posts all the time. I never said to people, oh, we're running a discount, we have this, join the community. Never. You will never hear that. But I will mention it, I will reference it, and people will see it. It's tagged, it's right there, it's more than enough. It's a blue link, it's a blue, it's blue letters.
To the corporate page of LinkUp?
No, to my profile, to my personal posts. In my personal post.
Right, I'm confused. You're making a post and you're tagging LinkUp
I'm tagging
community.
my business page. Inside.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
In your personal post, you're tagging the corporate page of...
Yes,
of
link.
I got
you.
you.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Or you can also leave a link. It's fine.
Okay, let's do this.
You can also leave a link. But I'm telling you, like, if you do the selling part, your reach will get lower. You will not get as much engagement. So you're basically, the whole premise of, if you're only directly selling, that's when you get the best sales. But when you do the direct selling, like, you don't get as many sales. So it kind of defeats the purpose. So that's why I always have a problem with when it comes to selling inside the content. You don't need to sell all the time. You don't need to. Like, genuinely don't need to. You will still make sales. Okay. I guarantee you this.
There's a line from Seth Godin, something to the effect that almost no one shows up on social to be advertised to.
Oh, yeah.
This is very interruptive marketing, and that's what a lot of people do because they're hell-bent on conversions, and they're using this as a way to dump spam everywhere, right? No one wants to read spam in their email. You don't want to spam in your social. You don't want to spam in your YouTubes. Give us the example. Let's say the profile is this, because there's a lot of people in our community are in this situation where they're some kind of coach and they're running a coaching community or some kind of mentorship program. What does that post look like with the call to action that's not a hard sell?
Okay. Give me the most niche you can think of.
The niche?
Yes.
Somebody help me here. What's a niche?
I don't know. Fisherman, anything. I don't know.
Milko will help us. Is that niche enough? Hand lettering coaching.
It's fairly popular, right?
No, that's too broad then. We got it even bigger. He wants a niche.
Give us like something that's like oil dredging. Give us something that's like not marketing related. Like we're all marketing people. We're all salespeople. Give us something that's like super niche. Driving a truck. That's good.
What?
Driving a truck. Driving instructor. That's good.
Okay, let's use that.
So here's how we do this, right? This is like writing psychology.
Let's do it.
Think of an issue that's not only relevant to the driving instructors. So the example right here, the niche we're starting is driving instructor. I would love if we had an iPad or something, right? But anyhow, driving instructor, that's the beginning point. That's the starting point. Think of problems that only the driving instructors can feel. That's not what you want to be talking about. Think of something that everyone in the world can also feel as that same driving instructor. Like, what does his day look like? What does he do every day? Is it stressful? Yes. Does everyone feel stress? Yes, we do. So don't talk about the stress of teaching someone how to drive. Talk about the stress of teaching someone something for the very first time. Ooh. See how different these two are? The first example, teaching someone how to drive, only the driving instructors care about this. Teaching someone how to do something for the very first time, everyone in the world cares about this. Big mindset shift. So this is how we can go super niche inside the posts without ever actually alienating a huge part of our audience, which brings me to the point of this exercise, alienation. When you're directly selling inside a post, at the very beginning, the very first line that you write, you're like, if you're a driving instructor who does XYZ, if I'm not a driving instructor, I don't give a damn about your post. I'm going to scroll by. Right? Because you're literally telling me this post is not for you. But if you're telling me, ever tried teaching someone something for the very first time? Now we all care. I'm going to stop because I relate to it. I've been taught something for the first time. I've probably taught someone for the very first time. This is how you begin. We made this remark earlier, like go broad first and then go niche. Because right now, this is what happens psychologically. The brain is invested. The brain can connect to the idea. Now you use your niche example. Now it's okay to use it. Now you're like, see, as a driving instructor, I go through this every single day. And you could say, as an oil dredging constructor or whatever, we go through this every single day. It doesn't matter what kind of example you use. The brain's already invested because it can relate to the problem, to the feeling of the problem. But if you're using a very specific language to just say, this problem is not for you, I can't relate to it. The brain can't connect to it. So we go broad first, then we use the niche examples, right? And you can just say, this is how we do it in a one-liner and leave the link and then continue writing the post. Just literally use a one-liner. This is how we do it. Leave a link and continue writing the post. The post should just end with a question about the topic that you were just talking about. But if you just ask a question at the very end that's, again, very relatable, very broad. For example, when was the last time you had to unlearn something? Or what was the last new skill you learned, right? Because we can all relate to the beginning. We can all understand the niche example because now you got us invested into your world. That's what also makes you care about other creators. And the very last question, it's not selling to you. The post is ending on a non-salesy note. The post is literally just inviting you to engage and comment below. But what did we do in the middle of the post? We left a resource. We sold. We were selling. So you can sell, but it doesn't have to look salesy. And you can still get the engagement. You can still get the followers. You can still get everything you want from a post. The bigger benefit here is you get people to connect with your niche. You get people to connect with something that they probably have never heard about, right? And this is a problem with a lot of folks who are doing super niche work. They want to expand their audience, but they can't. But when you target broader and then they're now engaging those new followers, their networks now see it, I guarantee you will find those clients in their networks because how many times have you seen a post, right? Chris, though, reacted to this. It's not about Chris. It's about who sees Chris. Chris's network. That's what you want. You don't care about Chris commenting. You care about Chris's community, Chris's whole LinkedIn network seeing his comment. That's what it's about. That's how you find your ICPs. That's how you grow an audience on LinkedIn. It's never about the person commenting. It's about the network that the person has. So that was an exercise. Go broad, go niche, mention the offer in the middle, and then end the post as you would normally end a conversation. Ask them about it. Invite them to participate in the conversation. The sale is going to stay there. Whoever cares about it, trust me, they're going to click it just because you didn't force them. You didn't advertise to them. You brought them into your world. Big difference. Big difference.
I feel so used when you say it the way you just said it. Nobody cares about Chris. They just care about their reach behind. I
didn't mean it like that,
I feel
bro.
like a used piece of toilet paper right now. Let me just tell you. Okay, that's cool.
I should have used a different name. Sorry.
Nah, No, I understand.
But do you get the point of the exercise,
I do.
right?
Here's what I'd like to do with you if you're up for it and the audience is
100%.
up for it, because we don't have that many opportunities to be in person doing this kind of stuff. You all understand what he's talking about? I think this is what we'd call like good advertising, direct marketing copy. There's certain rules, and he obviously understands the rules. He's making it very easy for you to understand. Why don't we do this? I'd love to have 3 people tell us what your niche is, and then tell us how you've thought through this, and you're going to make it appeal to a broader group of people. And then we'll get feedback from Jasmin, and he will then help you make a better post. Is that cool? I just want to give you time to think. Y'all think. And I'm going to ask Oksana a question, and I'm going to ask Akhil a question, okay? Oksana, does ManyChat, we have somebody from ManyChat here. Does ManyChat work with LinkedIn? Okay, not yet. Yeah, anytime soon? It's killing me. What do you mean no one knows?
I can give you the inside scoop on that.
How could you know? Okay, go ahead, tell us.
It's not about the tool itself, right? The tool in question is ManyChat right here. LinkedIn doesn't allow any sort of automation.
Doesn't what?
Automation.
It doesn't?
No.
It does. Flowchat does it.
There's limitations to all of that. The second you are pulling data into a different data pool, the data scientists are going to know what a data pool is, right? You're pulling from one domain to another. You're already risking the API. You're already risking it. The second thing is, if you're impacting their money-making features in any way, meaning you're automating DMs in your own way, but they have their own premium feature with the autoresponder, right? They want you to use that. They want you to click that. So if you're impacting that feature in any sort of way, you're crossing the line. If you're, an engagement tool, right? And you create custom feeds. Meanwhile, LinkedIn's custom feed, their version of a custom feed is it also has ads. You're removing the ads in that tool, in that custom. LinkedIn doesn't like that either, right? So anytime you're impacting anything of LinkedIn's that makes them money, that makes them lose premium subscribers or premium features, you've already crossed the line. That's why automation tools on LinkedIn are notoriously getting banned left and right. Notoriously.
Because they're terrible.
I'm 100% sure. They're banning every single one of them. And the problem is, sometimes it takes a while for them to ban the tool itself. They're going to ban the users first. The users' accounts, they're going to get restricted. And it's like the user's like, oh my God, I've done nothing wrong. I don't know what I've done. I didn't insult anyone. I didn't write a bad word. But then they just tell them, check your extensions. What's installed? Easy exercise for anyone watching this. If you're using LinkedIn and you're worried that your account might get restricted, go to your settings, go to security, and go to permitted services. It's all the way at the bottom. It's kind of ironic that it's called permitted services because you're permitting them to use it. But if there's anything inside those permitted services that's connected to your account, remove it. Remove it. Instantly, remove it. I don't care what tool it is. I don't care if it's your favorite scheduler, whatever it is, remove it. You can still use a lot of those tools, even if you remove them. I'll just say this, so you're like, oh, I don't want to lose my subscription. It's a really useful tool. It's okay, you're not. The reason they get connected there is so they can pull data when you're not online. You don't necessarily need to have it there in the permitted services section for it to work at all. It just connects when you're first creating the account, right? And it's like you just give it permission and that's it. But it doesn't need to stay connected for you to continue using the tool. You can still continue using every single tool that you're using, at least most of them, without having them necessarily connected directly to your LinkedIn. So go to settings, go to security, go down all the way down to permitted services. If anything is connected, disconnect it ASAP, because you're putting your account at risk. This is what I know personally from like hundreds of use cases of people getting restricted. Just, it's not worth it.
Akhil, I was going to ask you a question. What is your niche that we could run this through?
I was actually thinking to see what we could property law? Is that?
Oh, that's beautiful.
That's pretty niche, right?
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Okay, well, don't do the work for him. Hold on.
Okay.
IP law?
Immediately putting my coaching hat
Okay,
on.
IP, yeah.
There we go.
IP law. How do you talk about IP law and not bore us to death? What is the broader hook that you can bring us in before you get specific? Can we throw him the mic? I know it's going to be terrible because he's right under it, but let's try.
A broader look would be to talk about property ownership. Everyone can connect to that.
I'm going to give you a very pro tip. Whenever you're thinking about broader hooks and broader topics, think about emotions and problems that people are experiencing, right? Everyone has some sort of emotion that they can connect to a billion scenarios. Stress is a really good one, right? Stress of losing something, AKA ownership, right? Stress of losing something. You could talk about that, right? It could go away. I don't know. You put down a down payment, you didn't do it by the book, then you lose the down payment, you lose the house. Like that happens.
That was my first thought, but then your counter argument was that not everyone owns a property, which is true.
But no, like your starting topic was owning a property. My starting topic is the fear of losing something. See how much broader that is? This one is emotional, right? This one is just an activity within your niche. Same goes with the example we used earlier. This is just an activity in your niche. Oh, I'm teaching someone how to drive. This one, teaching someone how to do something for the very first time. See, there's an emotional component to it, always. That emotion is what keeps us connected as humans. There's so many emotions in completely different industries that are exactly the same. Stress, burnout, fear of XYZ, right? Excitement about XYZ. You want to use those as your starting points because that's how you can connect anyone in the world, no matter their age, their industry, their region, you can connect them to any topic. So let's now do it again. What's an emotion that people who own properties you feel a lot?
Talking about the fear of losing something that belongs to you, but you can't really prove ownership.
How would you talk about it? How would you teach us about that topic?
Like I would talk about how important it is to make sure that you actually have proof of ownership of what you
Okay, so number one, proof of ownership. Second thing, security or something. And what would be the main point of that post that you're trying to communicate?
Make sure you register your work. Basically, you meet all the requirements for owning a piece of work.
Okay. Can you draw any comparisons to a different niche entirely as to what ownership is? Maybe music, maybe, I don't know, art? Can you draw comparisons? Inside of your post, add one line that talks about different industries as well. It's very simple. Anyone can do this in any post. You can just say, the same goes for artists protecting their music, you protecting your home, Ring camera, it doesn't matter what it is. But you're drawing these comparisons and you're drawing even more people in, right? Because sometimes this stuff gets too technical. Like IP law is very technical, right? If you want to get technical, use a less technical example and you're going to keep them interested in the topic, right? But do it like in the middle of the post. Literally, just one line. The same goes for X, Y, Z, and mention different examples. And you can do this with anything. If you're doing, Michael Jordan, sports, how many times has he lost, right? Same goes for X, Y, Z. Mention different sports. Mention completely different industries. Doesn't matter what it is. But make people relate to your point more than once. This is what keeps them interested, keeps them hooked. And you can talk about the nichest examples, but you can have the broadest audience. It's about these little tidbits, these little lines inside of a post, right, that really draws the audience in. But the basis of it is you got to start with an emotional component first, then go niche, the examples then bring it to life, and then the very last question you ask is something related, again, to the emotion of it. What would be a question you would ask your audience about exactly the topic you're talking about right now? What would be a question you would love to ask? And before you answer, when you're thinking about how to ask a good question, think of 3 ways. Yes or no question, okay? Quick answer. Think of super one word, like super short, 1 or 2 word answers, and think about numbers and just percentages. These are the 3 best ways to ask a question and get more engagement on social media. In sales, if you ask me an open-ended question, that's perfect. But specifically for posts and for social media content, you don't want your audience to think about the answer, to give you this long-winded answer. You want it to be super short. So keeping all of this in mind, yes or no, numbers and percentages, and very short answers, how would you ask the question for your post?
Are you addressing the ICP when asking the question?
And address anyone who's reading it. Anyone who's reading it.
For example, I would ask, have you registered your musical work?
Okay, but why are you going niche? See, your musical work, you're alienating a lot of the audience. Have you registered any of your work before? You see? Like now anyone who's reading the post can answer.
Or have you ever had your ideas ripped off?
Oh yeah, you can ask that.
More
as well.
emotional.
Anything that's more emotional. The emotion is really what ties it together. Okay, this was a little bit rough.
Does that make sense?
This was
okay.
I feel like we got the point across.
That was a hard one,
Yeah.
and I'm glad we did this. But let's review. I'm not ready to move on just yet. Okay, you can hit stop on the recorder there. We're good. Okay, so the challenge here is with Akhil. He does something very niche, IP law. He had a hard time thinking about anything. This is the curse of knowledge, everybody. You're so deep in the weeds that you can't think of anything else but IP law. Everybody should understand this is why it's so important. So I could see his vein just going like this, like, okay, I got to work through the problem. This is where I think creative kids have a little bit easier time because anything could be anything, and we're not ruled by laws and oversight or anything like that. So my entry into your post, if I were writing it, and then I'd love to hear what you would write, okay? So we'll just freestyle a little bit here. This is not my expertise, by the way. Just want to caveat. I would just talk about, have you ever had your social media account hacked, where you've lost control, or people are sending out emails to your most beloved, cherished clients, pretending to be you, asking for things that you would never ask for? This is a more common occurrence than you think. And if you think this is not real, let me tell you about how this has happened to me 4 years ago. And this literally did happen to me. Somebody got our identity, filed our tax return, and claimed money in a different state. It made me aware that the government is not very smart. They don't cross-reference anything because I've never lived in Texas. And it happened twice, both for me and my wife. Now, we know we're going to be okay because we can prove this is not us. It's pretty easy. But the hassle, and it took us over 2 years to get this cleared up. Literally had to go to the police station, file a report. I've never been to a police station before. Go through all this process to reclaim our identity. Now, the hook then would be, this is what I help people do, but not just with their identity, but with their intellectual property. And intellectual property can be art, music, anything. And let me ask you this question, and then you would just say, have you ever had something you've owned stolen? Is that okay? That's a post.
Everyone can relate to something being stolen from them.
Okay.
Right? Everyone. We all have
Everybody
anything,
has.
right?
Big and
Stolen.
small.
Yeah. Doesn't matter how small it is. But when you ask the question that way at the very beginning, you get the audience interested. Again, it's that brain signal, right? When you simply ask that question, no niche mentioned whatsoever. Have you ever had something stolen from you? And especially if you can add a deeper emotional component, especially when you did everything to protect it. You see, it gets deeper and deeper. And then you simply give us the niche examples, right? Then in the middle of it, same goes for bring in an even further, broader audience, give 2 or 3 extra examples really quickly, really swiftly. Bring it home and then ask a question. Whatever you ask in the end, have you ever encountered this? Have you ever had your social media hacked before? Whatever, you can ask a question that's slightly broader that anyone can answer. But in the beginnings and in the endings of your post, meaning the questions that you're asking, kill the niche, right? You don't need to necessarily speak to your ICP right then and there because you're alienating immediately a whole lot of your audience. All those impressions that you see underneath your posts, they never correlate 1-to-1 to the number of likes and comments you get. You're going to get 20,000 impressions. You don't get 20,000 likes, right? Because there's so many more people reading it in the background. They're lurking in the shadows, right? This is what we want. We want to bring them out of the shadows. We want to have them relate to the point that we're making. We also want to have them engage with the post. Why not? Because then we get to tap into their networks, right? Then you get a broader audience, broader post. Win, win, win.
Was that example sufficient, or did you want to do a different take on it?
No.
Was okay?
I'm fine with it. I think we've simplified it now for the audience. Yeah.
Now, I want to address something in the room because I'm reading your energy. I know immediately when you were asked to do this, you tightened up. I could just see, it's not the guy I know. It was what's going on with you right now? And this is the plight of many people trying to write a piece of content. Because at the end of the day, they're thinking so hard. I got to sell, I got to pitch, I got to position, and that's the thing that shuts down your creative brain. Just relax and say, if I'm trying to tell somebody, a young person, an idea that they need to be aware of, I have to build a bridge. I have to talk about something they know something about, and then I'm going to bridge it to something that's what I know about. It's the known unknown. What is it that you know, so I can bring you to an unknown place? Does that make sense? Just think about that. Like, if you imagine yourself speaking to a much younger person who doesn't care about what you do, find something that they care a lot about. Does that make sense? So if you can do that. Now I see your body a little bit more relaxed. You're like, oh, I got an example.
This is something very close to my heart. I worked at a tech company, very, very well-known tech company, and there was a lot of burnout. When I came out, I was burnt out myself. And I'm also an educator, a design educator, as well as a designer, creative strategist. So in my head, I kept thinking, how can I go back and help these creative people who are running on empty tank, who are designing inside a vacuum? They are burnt out. I want to go there and help them. So this is something that's been going in my head, and this is something that I'm really serious about and I want to do. And please, if anybody wants to join me, I'd love to co-collaborate. But what I would do is I would start saying, are you getting burnt out?
Wait, what is your niche? Start there.
You mean, okay, what I would offer?
Yes.
My offer is sharing my experience and knowledge to empower creative teams and individuals to gain their creativity back for better innovation and productivity.
You speak like a person who's taught and someone who's worked in corporate. Use normal human language, please.
I swear that's
You know what I mean? If you have to take 2 breaths when you say what you're about to say it again.
So
what is your niche?
I'm the superwoman who comes in and lifts you up.
That's a little soft to me, by the way.
Top of the mountain with your inspiration.
So can we say confidence coaching?
You may have confidence. I had confidence, but I was burnt out. It's the inspiration that was dried up because you give, and then as a creative person, you need to nourish yourself.
Milka, if this wasn't you, what job exists that does what you do? Describe them, not you.
Say that again, please.
If you're not talking about yourself, somebody out there is doing what you're doing. How do they describe themselves?
They would describe themselves as a creative design mentor and coach.
Okay. See, it wasn't that hard.
Thank you. I said it earlier, but you...
Well, okay, if you say so.
Okay.
Shaquille, is that okay?
I was going to say bringing joy back to the creative process.
Okay.
Because we're talking about burnout.
That's the result of what you do.
I love that. Yes, bringing the joy, the passion.
Okay, let me ask you another question. Is there a big demand for that?
Good question. Yes, there is. There is. I believe there is. I believe in every design firm, especially in the tech industry. Yes, there is.
Okay, let's do this. Can we validate that there's demand for this?
From top of my head, I believe so, but I have to do some research.
Why don't we do that? That's kind of important. As you're going to get some expert help on building a business that may or may not exist.
Oh my goodness, so I should come back at the next
No, there's no next. He's here in town once. He's flown a long way to be here. But this is the thing I want you to do. Some things I've noticed already. Overly complicated, vapory kind of descriptions. Like I can't get my hand wrapped around anything. And now you're going to talk about people becoming interested in something that you can't validate. You should know these are 100 coaches who do exactly what I do. I just do it better than them. I do it different than them. If you can't find those people, you don't know what their rates are, we're in trouble. This is a business design problem. Okay, but let's get back into it. So she helps to bring joy back into creative work as a coach.
Okay,
that's her niche. Are we cool? No? Go ahead.
Okay.
Not yet?
I mean,
but make her work for it. Don't
no,
just
like
don't
my,
just solve
my
it.
question is immediate because I do this a lot with my community.
Yeah.
Like when I'm coaching, like what's the offer? Right? Like what's the actual
Let's
offer?
do that. What's the offer?
Like what would you charge me for? Like if I literally just told you, send me an invoice. What are you sending me an invoice for? Is it a session? Is it a program? Is it a
community?
resource?
What is
community? Yeah, what is it? What's the offer that you're actually trying to sell?
There's that Botox. It's wasted.
The offer, I've thought about this. It's going to be, and I have to put a couple of packages together.
Okay.
One of the packages would be based on me talking to you and find out what your needs are and where the problems
coaching.
are. The coach, yeah,
Okay.
and based on your needs, I will coach you and I bring resources to help you.
Is this one-on-one or are we doing it to groups?
So that would be one-on-one.
Okay.
How much is it?
Just throw in a ballpark figure.
Doesn't matter.
I have to do some research.
Okay.
Please.
No.
No, just for the sake-
just
just
make
for
up
the
a
sake of
number.
the
It doesn't
argument.
matter. We're just playing.
$10,000 a day, just like Christo.
Okay.
Damn. Okay. Okay, I got you.
Okay, I have to work with their budget too. So I do have some numbers.
No, you don't. But keep going.
But I have to find. The other strategy would be to really teach these creative teams some creative strategies. How to be able to elevate yourself and think outside the box even further.
See, now we're diving into groups, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So-
Are these teams of students? Or these
Teams of professional designers
already graduates?
who've already graduated,
Okay.
but they haven't been at school for some time, and they're thirsty and hungry for some coaching, some knowledge, some inspiration to lift them up
Okay.
and empower them.
Okay. Are these folks you would say with work experience, or are they still like after graduation, they're still waiting for that big shot?
No, with experience.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, any emotions, any problems that those people with experience have experienced in their work?
Yes, they're feeling undervalued.
Lead with that immediately. There you go. How many times have all of us here in the room felt undervalued, or better yet, misunderstood? Right? Because undervalued has like a price point on it. Misunderstood, I feel like is like deeper, super emotional. Lead with that. Yeah.
So don't start with getting burned out.
Well, I feel like in this particular instance that we're explaining, being misunderstood is the topic here. Lead with that. But you see, the beauty of the topic of being misunderstood is everyone gets it. Even a little kid gets it. So you can get anyone in the room. So it's a bonus point here, but we had difficulty describing what you do. But when you can hook them in with an emotion, they're kind of already interested to hear more about what you do. Right? So now you have this added simplicity of, okay, they're already listening. So now let me explain to them about what I actually do and what I can actually help with. Versus, let me start with that. And we already spent like 7 minutes discussing it, like that didn't work. Lead with the emotion first, always. That's gonna make it much easier for you to describe what you do to hook people in. Lead with the emotion always. Feeling undervalued, underpriced, misunderstood, not clear maybe on your offer, not clear on what you actually need to do as your next step in the industry.
Looked over.
Yeah. How do I land a job? How do I land my next gig? All of these things are instances that are super duper emotional, and everyone can relate to it. Everyone. But then lead into your nicheality, if I can, label it as that. Mention those niche examples. So I work with XYZ. I help them XYZ. The one thing that I always see happening is 1, 2, 3. The same goes for industry X, industry Y, industry Z, and then close it out and ask a question. You can say, do you feel like you're undervaluing yourself right now? Are you happy with your pricing? That's a good question. Are you happy with your pricing? Pretty simple, yes or no answer. Are you happy with it? And people will respond. Trust me, when you ask them directly, when it's a very simple, very quick answer that it exudes, people will start to comment easily. For me, it's not just about writing content. For me, it's like the whole thing. Like I look at it like step 1, step 2, step 3. Like speaking to the audience is just one thing. Getting through to them, second thing. But like looking at the algorithm and the overall engagement long term of your content, like that's the bigger play here. It's almost like a game, and you have to treat it that way. Because otherwise, what happens is, I'm gonna go back to the point of tofu, mofu, bofu, right? Like there's different schools of thought where like you have to do 1 tofu post per week, right? Go super broad. 2 middle of the funnel, like speak directly to your ICP, and like 1 super salesy post. That engagement is gonna go up and down. It's never, ever gonna be consistent. Ever. Just because you're speaking to different audiences, you're speaking to them in a very different way. And it's like the emotional response that you get from those posts is always gonna be different. Therefore, your ego will get hurt with all of those impressions going up and down, and that's what everyone's complaining about right now on LinkedIn, right? But it's like, if you have a consistent approach of how you talk to people, if you show up in this emotional way where you hook them in, where you're shifting the mindset, you're not just educating. Anyone can share a tip. Anyone. I can just Google a piece of advice. Hey, how do I do this? Make me care about it. Like, what's the emotion behind why I would do that? Like, how do you make orange juice? Squeeze an orange. Why do you make an orange juice, right? Citrus is healthy for you. Oh, okay. See how broader that is? Health. We're talking about health. And then you tell me like 1, 2, 3, squeeze it, blah, blah, blah. That's it. Same goes for you. Lead with the emotion, then give me the specific example. Maybe lead back into a broader example of other, like how to squeeze a I don't know, apple juice, this and that, like give us other examples, finish it off and ask a very, very simple question. This is how you can sell anything. This is like direct response marketing one-on-one that's less salesy because it's specifically geared toward getting more engagement, getting more reach, and not actually alienating your audience from the start. If you send them to a very specific landing page, it's a whole different conversation because that needs to be specific. That needs to be a little bit pushy and salesy. But if we're talking LinkedIn, social media in general, you need to get them there later on. You first need that visibility. You first need that mental investment, that emotional investment from your audience. That's why social media is different. That's why LinkedIn specifically is different. They're not very generous with reach, right? So you literally can just magically manipulate that by speaking to a broader audience, right? By having them emotionally invested. Done. How do you get more engagement? Ask a freaking simpler question. Ask a question, period. A lot of people never ask questions. They just end with like a mic drop moment or like a summary of the post, and you're reading it and you're like, okay. Press like, swipe by. You're never going to comment on that post. And then, again, it's the whole analytics conversation. Like, oh, my engagement is up and down and up and down. But are you doing this consistently? And then, obviously, we get into what we talked about at the very beginning. Like, are you actually staying there to engage with your audience and talk to them more? Because the post never ends with the post. The post continues after they're done reading. So all of it is like a game, right? How do we get maximum conversions, maximum engagement, maximum reach?
That's right. So Milka, there's a couple of things here. Number one is what Jasmin is talking about is when they go to your sales page, that's already bottom of funnel. Because now I need to know price points, what's the program like. But people treat their content like it's bottom of funnel. And people go through 3 stages. I don't know if you're aware of this. Like they're problem unaware, then they become solution unaware, and then they become product unaware. So you're moving them through different stages of awareness. So people think, oh, you already know what the problem is. You already know what the solution is, so I have the product for you. That's the problem. So what we have to do is we have to use social to make them aware of the problem. The way that we make them aware of the problem is we have to talk about the problem. And almost all problems come from interpersonal relationships and emotional. That's what you have to focus in on. And if you can understand that, you're going to move them much more smoothly from one state to the next. So putting this aside for a second, you may have an entire business design problem that maybe buy me lunch, I'll tell you what it is. But the challenge for you is you do not want to sell a product to a group who can't afford to buy it. Every time you tell me you want to, and we make the mistake, you sell to broke designers, they might want the solution, they can't afford you.
So to be clear, I was going to reach to companies,
corporate
companies.
That's right.
And pitch this to them. So have them hire me for a certain gig where I would come in on a retainer or a certain amount of time.
So when we do the offer design, it has to be for HR, senior management, VPs to be able to do this. And in order to reach them, you have to start making content that like, we need Milka's help. She clearly understands what we're going through, and she's been through it, okay? And you can say, I survived 10 years in the tech space, super toxic male bro culture. I know how to get you out of it. And then you have to be able to teach people. Now, I think I follow you enough. I don't think you write about this at all. Don't even give me a look. Shaquille knows. He's shaking his head like he's got a flea on him right now.
This happens more
You don't do this at all.
I do this as I do teach one-on-one.
That doesn't matter to me.
I coach people one-on-one.
Doesn't matter to me.
You're right. I haven't taught.
I know I'm right because I watch your feed. You're telling me my eyes deceive me. Is that what you're saying? Okay, but this is a great point. This is kind of funny because y'all think what you do behind closed doors matters. It don't.
Put it out there.
What's been holding you back?
Trying to correct. What's holding me back is I'm trying to put everything together in my head at this moment. You asked me a question. I'm just letting you know. I am working on a proposal. I have it here. That's why I was like, I can't wait to talk about it. I have put the proposal together.
But this has been a long time.
Here's the thing. I didn't put it out there because I didn't think it's important for me to put it out there. I was going to reach out directly to those tech companies.
That's why you're here today. You're ready to change.
I am.
The caterpillars crawl into the cocoon and you're ready to emerge as the butterfly, right?
So, but you're saying that I should put this out there no matter what? Don't just go directly to the organizations?
I'm not saying anything. Is that what you're hearing?
She's nodding her head.
Who's not? What are you hearing? It doesn't matter what I'm saying. It doesn't matter what Jasmin is saying. What are you hearing?
I am hearing that you guys are listening to me.
That is like an enigma wrapped inside a riddle.
I don't know. I'm to be honest with you, I have to try. That's what I have to try. And once I try, then I will know.
Okay.
There we go.
So you know, there's no trying, there's just doing.
Correct. Just do it.
Okay.
Just do it. I appreciate that. Yes.
Yeah, I think the problem with really smart, educated, successful people is they think too much.
100%.
That's a backhanded compliment. You follow? And it's been years. I know Milka for a gazillion years, okay? And I'm looking through the feed. I'm like, where are you, Milka? Where are you?
Okay, I will.
Where?
I will do that. I was recuperating, to be honest with you.
Okay, it was a long, toxic battle. I get it.
Rejuvenating, recuperating, and getting myself nurtured back up.
Okay.
So now I'm ready to start licking that. Oh yeah. Have detox myself.
Everybody thinks that the minute you need social to work for you, then you begin the work. But that was like 3 years ago. You have to be planting the seeds because otherwise all your posts wind up being super transactional. Because now we need the work to happen. We need the opportunities. We need the publishing deal. We need the speaking engagements to happen. And that work was supposed to begin years ago. Period. Good news is it's never been better.
Oh, it's never been easier either.
It's never been easier. It's never been better. And there's so many more people who have figured things out on their own time to save you from this pain. But nothing will solve this for you unless you actually just do it. Okay? You got that? Okay. You're welcome. Okay, let's do this. Let's spend the next 5 or 10 minutes. Just do rapid fire. So you have to keep your answers to less than 1 minute.
Rapid fire.
1 minute or less, okay? Who's got a question?
Some people do. You did this not too long ago. It's like a reintroduction post. When do you do that? When is a good time to do that? What do you want to cover? And does it matter how many followers you have?
There's too many questions. One question, please.
Okay. If you want to reintroduce yourself to your audience, it's always a good idea to do, by the way. That's number one. Number two, when should you do it? Once per year is more than enough. Twice per year is the max I would do. So once every 6 months. The reason why is because your audience will change. Like the people that engage with you now will be a slightly different audience 6 months from now. That's why we want to do it. And you will also have gained many more new followers since 6 months ago. That's why you always want to keep reintroducing yourself to your audience, not just at a business level, but on a personal level too. That's why we do those reintroduction posts. It's always useful.
For people who don't know, what is a reintroduction post?
Well, you just say, hey, here's what I do, here's what I am, and you give me some facts about yourself, right? I can't ride a bike. I used to be a rapper. I'm a university teacher. Like all of those things that are not about my actual offer, right? I love burgers. I'm a solo dad. Like, get down on a personal level. It's as if you're talking to a friend, pull back the curtain behind the actual business content, give them a little bit of you. That's a reintroduction post.
Great, that's our time. Next, Agil, you want to ask something or no? Okay, I thought you gestured. Anybody else? Okay.
Super quick one. Curious about connections versus followers. Like, should you just accept all the randos that add you?
So when it comes to accepting or adding connections on LinkedIn, I have 2 rules, okay? Rule number 1, they have to be relevant to your niche or to your work. That also means meeting someone in person. They're relevant to you immediately, right? You've gotten to know them. But rule number 2 is where a lot of people mess it up. Rule number 2 is they have to be active on LinkedIn. The reason why is LinkedIn will always show and prioritize showing your content to your first-degree connections. And if you connect with folks who are not active on LinkedIn, and the problem is they're logging in, they're seeing your content, but they're never engaging, they're never liking, you're going to build an invisible audience. And you see this with a lot of big creators. They're going to add 100, 500 people per day. Long term, they lose their engagement. It's like the following is going up, the engagement is going down. You don't want to do this. You never want to do this. So 2 rules. They have to be relevant. They also have to be active. And also, follow and connect are 2 different features for a reason. You can follow each other. You don't have to stay connected. You can also be connected. Don't have to follow each other. Keep that in mind.
Time. Perfect. You good? All right. We have comments on previous videos of ours, and I'd like for you to answer them, okay?
Okay.
So here we go.
I would love to.
Lewis Lawson 2339 says, I've been posting on LinkedIn since the start of the year and it's delivered zilch. Haha, I'm a paid social specialist providing value about e-commerce, and I never get any comments, and my audience isn't growing. Crying face emoji. LinkedIn has been such a disappointment. People don't respond to messages either. Please respond.
Well, in that example, what was his name?
Lewis.
So Lewis never mentioned commenting in the first place. He only mentioned posting and nothing's happening. And he mentioned DMing people directly and nothing's happening. If no one knows who you are, if no one's ever seen you, people can smell a sale from a mile away. The average social media user has gotten much more intelligent, right? People can smell a sale coming from a mile away. And if you don't do anything that earns you trust from your audience, meaning you have to earn your engagement. You have to be out there. If you want people to support you, go and support some people. Heck, 10 people per day. Just scroll through the feed. It literally takes 5 minutes. Right now, each and every one of us, open up your LinkedIn's, right? Scroll through the feed. You can leave 10 comments easily in the next 10 minutes, 5 minutes even. That's all you got to do every single day.
Next question from Con Fitness UK. I've done all this. Everyone's doing the same thing. It's not working.
How is everyone doing the same thing? We were literally just describing what everyone's doing wrong, right? I feel like people follow a lot of bad advice and they also want quick wins. And there's this whole new conversation on LinkedIn. Like the entire episode today, like we were talking about, like I keep saying, like it's never been easier. It's never been simpler. You have this entire anti-conversation on LinkedIn. Like, it's never been harder to grow. It's so slow. The reach has never been worse. And I'm like, you're focused on the wrong things. Like the roadmap is already out there. Keep commenting for added visibility. Add a few connections per day that are actually relevant and active. DM folks who you already have familiarity with, meaning warm outreach, not cold. You don't want to be pitch slapping strangers. No one's going to respond. No one likes to be sold to. No one logs into social media to be sold to. They log into social media to pass time, to learn something new. And it's, especially if it's business networking media, which LinkedIn is, they want to learn about business. So do the things that are proven to work. Commenting relevantly and strategically, DMing folks when you actually have earned their trust, and posting content to actually tell more people about what you have to offer. That's it. That's literally all there is to it.
Time. You're a little over on that one.
Sorry.
Here we go. Next one is from Imars. What is the best time to post on LinkedIn?
There's no best time per se, right? But I will tell you this. The easy way to find your posting time, like what's the best time for you, is look at two things. Number one, when are most of my engagers active? Like meaning, when is most of my audience active? I know I can count on responses on my post instantly. Why? Because the first hour matters. It matters the most. And number two, can I do this consistently for years to come? Because if you can't stick to a posting time, don't bother worrying about what the best posting time is. Find something that works for you, for your life, genuinely, for your work schedule. Because if you're genuinely trying to play the algorithm game, oh, everyone's online at 12 p.m., and you're like, oh, man, I got to pick up my kid from school, from sports practice, you're going to hate your life. So those two rules.
Beautiful. You're on time on that one. Thank you very much.
Anything after 6:30, your time is good. Anything after that, because when you really think about it, most of the folks who are having their orange juice or their coffees or their Starbucks in the morning, they're going to be scrolling social media. When they're commuting to work or they're in an Uber, they're going to be scrolling social media, right? When they first get to work, before they have their first coffee, they're going to be scrolling social media. So the early morning works, but it also works because you're hitting the middle of the day Europe, and you're also hitting the end of the day Southeast Asia and Australia. So yeah, early morning if you're on the West Coast or even the East Coast of the US works. Anything after 6:30 p.m. works.
Okay.
AM, early morning.
Yeah. You must be a night owl.
Yeah,
Okay.
inversely for Europe, obviously,
Yeah.
it's a different time. Yeah.
Hold on. Here we go. We only have 2 more questions submitted here. Architectural Professional Growth asks, I'm only at the first 25 minutes of the video, and there are some great ideas, but the Q&As, the pinned comments, the bonus lessons don't work if you have limited engagement on your posts. It's not being viewed. Respond, please.
Okay, so the pinned comments are for building a deeper connection with your audience, right? The person said it doesn't work. I would like to say, did you get 0 comments or did you get 2 comments? Because if you got 2 comments, it worked, right? Because then that's an ego conversation. When I first started, seriously, when I first started doing the pinned comment strategy, I was like the trailblazer of it. Because what happened was LinkedIn had a feature called pin a comment. After 2 weeks of beta testing, they took it off the platform, then everyone counted on me like, you're the commenting guy, figure it out. I did figure it out. You just have to self-comment on your own post. Self-comment, literally. Just write a comment on your own post. It will get pushed to the top in the first couple of hours. Anyhow, I used to get 2 responses on those, and I only used to leave 1. Over time, the more I did this, the more people engaged, the more people actually stayed on the post because they knew I would ask something extra. I would share an extra resource. I would share an extra link. I would share an extra question. Doesn't matter what it was. Now, on any given post, I leave anywhere from 5 to 8 pinned comments per post. And it brings me loads more engagement. But it started with just 2 likes, 2 reactions.
Perfect. I got one more quick question, and then I have a final question thought for you, which is not an easy one, but let's go here first.
We're not here for easy.
Galia Marinova-Y3V asks, hi, Jasmin. Jasmin, you're very inspirational. Could you please share the algo-tactic prompt on LinkedIn on how to build an authority and also about the 3-line hack? Many thanks in advance. What the heck is the 3-line hack?
Yeah, I don't understand genuinely the first part of the question. I do understand the second question because that's my rule. One of my biggest rules on LinkedIn, I have a lot of things that I've popularized, thank God, on LinkedIn over the years. The 3-line rule is the way LinkedIn shows you the posts, right? If you log into your LinkedIn right now, it doesn't matter if you're on a mobile phone or on desktop, on tablet, the way the post is gonna get shown is only the first 3 lines will be shown, including spaces, by the way. And then there's gonna be the see more button. The rest of the post isn't even visible. So I always tell people, treat your post as if it has 2 parts. The first part is the first 3 lines. Ideally speaking, you want to have your hook as a 1-liner. This is why using a tool like Authored Up that we mentioned earlier is useful because you can preview your post before you publish it. So 1 line of text, 1 empty space, and another line of text. Even if that second sentence that you're writing is 3, 4, 5 lines long, it's going to be cut off at the 1-line mark because there's going to be the see more button. You want to treat your posts like this every time because if you're not telling me what the entire post is about in the first 3 lines, nothing you wrote after that matters. Literally nothing. People usually focus on what's inside the post. No, focus on the first 3 lines the most. That's literally the entire post. Then when they click see more, then you give me part 2, a literal second post. That's the 3-line rule.
That's the hook, the rehook?
Yeah, the hook and the rehook, basically. That's what I call
1 and
the
3?
second one. Yeah, the rehook.
All right, this is perfect. Now, here's the much harder question for you to potentially figure out for us.
Just don't ask me about my sleep routine, please.
No, we had enough of that comments already. Okay, the question I have for you is, clearly you have a way with words. I refer to this phraseology. You know how to phrase things, how you will invert statements, you will repeat things because you know how to write. And you also know how to write to structure things, not for an English essay class, but how to get people to read things on social media. And there's a lot of people who want to be able to have the kind of impact and reach that you have, but they just suck at writing. Help us out. What do we need to do?
Okay, easy answer for that. Use AI to get you started. I'm not against using AI, okay? I'm against not thinking for yourself. That's what I'm against. We have gotten lazier. There's studies now that have been done. My colleague Sade Zahari, I don't know if you know her. She's like the GOAT when it comes to this. She recently spoke about this new research that AI did make us lazier. We became lazy thinkers to the point where I would just say we became no thinkers at all. We're not thinking. We're literally allowing AI to think for us, which is the caveat of using AI. Like you become so reliant on it that you just stop thinking for yourself. Me as a writer, as a lyricist, as an ex-rapper, I have to write. I understand the importance of building a muscle. And this is what I always tell people. When you go to a gym, right? Who does the workout? Does your workout trainer do the work, or do you actually have to do it? He guides you, he shows you, but who ultimately lifts the weights? Who ultimately pays attention to what they eat, to the nutrition? You do. We actually stop doing all of that. We expect our trainer to lift the weights, and we get muscular. That doesn't work. That's what AI has done to us. So I will say, use AI, but use it as a trainer, use it as a starting point. Use it as something that makes things easier for you. Don't use it as something that replaces you entirely, specifically when it comes to writing. Because writing is thinking, and thinking is building expertise live, in real time. So that's number 1. Number 2 is follow great writers on LinkedIn. Like genuinely just looking at their stuff, or reading their stuff, and emulating their style, trying to really just, oh, Jasmin's now talking about the 3-line rule. Try the 3-line rule. Don't just say, oh, that's great. That's amazing advice. Try it. Try it for yourself in every piece of advice. If I say, go broad, then go niche, then ta-ta-ta, try that. Don't just say, oh my God, that's amazing. Everyone should be doing that. No, you should be doing that. Try it. And to your point, don't just try it. Do the work, right? Work on it. And then everything else that comes with psychology, I keep saying this to people. On YouTube, you got amazing masterclasses. You got so many different podcasts. You got documentaries on freaking Discovery Channel. Anything that has to do with psychology, study it. Genuinely study it. And this will make you more interested in different industries and different niches. This is what actually got me interested in design. Case in point, in this guy, this is how I started learning more about business in general. Because back in the day, I was just a copywriter. That's how I started. This is year 16 in the business that I've been doing this online. I just started as a writer. I've been writing online blogs and stuff, like articles, websites. But the more I got into, sales, I needed to understand psychology. I needed to understand marketing. The more you got into sales, the more you need to understand the business side of it. The more you understood all of it, now it's like, how do you position it, not just textually, but visually as well. Then you get into design. Now, the more you understand all of this, the more you really just realize, heck, it's all just one thing. It's all one business. It's the business of psychology. It's the business of literally emotionally manipulating people to gain something and to give them something. It's never just getting something in return. It's giving them something first so they get emotionally invested. You're helping folks, and then you get something in return. Advice number 3, to summarize this, study psychology to the best of your abilities. There's loads of free courses out there, loads of free books. When you go to a freaking bookstore, don't look at all the marketing stuff and the business stuff. We got enough of that. Look at the psychology stuff. I'm telling you, like those actual clinical experts. Find those things. I'm telling you, studying about the brain and how it actually behaves, the front part, the back part, it's like when you're responding to comments, you're not creating. You're just reacting to it. It's a quick-witted thing. You're not creating any piece of information. It's just like, quick answer. Great stuff, Chris, right? But when you're adding to a comment, you're activating a different part of your brain, right? You're creating from scratch. Like, great stuff, Chris. Here's what we do with our clients. And now you're creating a whole new piece of content within that post. That's what gets me interested. That's what gets me psyched. To summarize, how do we get better if we're non-writers? Genuinely, number 1, if you have to use AI, get started. It's fine. It's totally fine. Just don't rely on it long term, because otherwise you're never going to improve. Number 2, study great writers. Try to really figure out what they're doing. Really pay close attention. And number 3, study psychology like your life depends on it, because it's not just going to benefit you with writing. It's going to benefit you with everything in business.
I somehow forgot that you used to rap. And you just mentioned that one more time.
Yeah, so I used to be a rapper back in the day. So my background is in teaching, right? The second I started college, it was when I started going, freelance. I was writing online because I was really good at languages, always. I'm not a native English speaker, by the way, for anyone wondering who's listening to this. I'm not a native English speaker at all. I learned it through music, through hip-hop, through Tupac, Eminem, 50 Cent, all of them. And then when I got into college, I wanted to be an English teacher. That was my passion, teaching, right? And then you're a college student, you got nothing else to do. Like, for me, languages were easy. Like, college was genuinely easy. I had so much creativity, so many hobbies. And I got into rapping. I grew up on hip hop, right? So I became a rapper, and I got 6 albums. We were on X Factor, we did MTV and the charts, and I had a record deal and all that. And when I graduated from university, I worked as a teacher, and my last album was somewhere in there after graduation. But then the lifestyle didn't suit me. Like, I'm not a party person. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't party. I hated it. And I retired, because the more I got drawn into it, the more I felt pushed to do any of those things. I got retired. I literally took all of my music down. But I kept the creativity. So hear me out. And then with teaching, I was really good at teaching. Thank God. I really loved doing what I've done. I got some awards for my teaching internationally as well. And it was kind of ironic. Within less than 2 years, it was May 2015 or 2016, I got an international award for my teaching. June, I retired from teaching as well. And then I was like, holy moly, what do I do in life? And someone reminded me, like, dude, you've been writing online all this time anyhow. Like, you've been writing articles, website. Like, do that. Like this digital nomad thing is popping up. This freelancing thing is popping up. Try that. Someone mentioned Upwork. And I got into Upwork, crushed it within like 5-6 years. Anyhow, I don't want to get into that conversation. It's a totally different conversation. But it all got me to this point where today I'm literally using every single skill I've ever had: creativity, daily writing, and teaching, and psychology. We just rebranded all of that as coaching. I'm still teaching, I'm still being creative every single day, I'm still creating, I'm still writing, I'm still being this lyrical, miracle, spiritual individual. Anyhow, never mind. But I just call it different things. Transferable skills are a big thing, so yeah. It all started with hip-hop music. That's how I got into the English language. That's how I got into all of this. That's why I'm Yeah, so big on hip hop, man. I love hip hop, and we're here, West Coast, LA. There we go. Yeah,
I'm gonna go outside and get shot. I don't even know what I'm doing, guys.
But look at me, I'm
I have
talking
no
about
idea.
the West, and look at this,
Yes.
East Coast. There we go.
Okay, the question I was gonna ask you.
Yes, sir.
That was just the observation. Is I forgot that you were a rapper. Is rappers, the good ones, have wordplay. They understand how to connect words and ideas together. And my former business coach used to say, I have an ear for what sounds right when he's writing. But he was dyslexic and he couldn't spell and all these kinds of things. But when you read what he wrote, you're like, that sounds good.
Yeah.
And how does one get good at that? Did you battle rap, by the way?
Yeah, I did.
So you freestyle off the dome, battle
Yeah,
rap? Okay,
but I can
because I'm
tell
a
you-
fan of hip hop too, by the
So
way.
I can tell you what helped me. I don't know, there was some sort of interview back in the day. Eminem said he reads the dictionary to learn new words. And me being a non-native English speaker, I'm like, that sounds cool. Where the hell would I learn anti-disestablishmentarianism and what it means, right? As a word, especially if you can use it in a song. Or kumquat. What is kumquat, right? Like words like that. It's like you got to expand your vocabulary. So reading the dictionary, genuinely, as crazy as that sounds in this day and age, we got Duolingo, we got all these apps, right? But like genuinely expanding your vocabulary helps with making these analogies, connections, comparisons, inferences, right? And you can always think of another way to say the same thing or a rhyme that really just goes with it. So if we could summarize, look at this, Chris. I wrote some notes both last night, both this morning, both as we were just doing it. I kept on touching my phone. So this is everything we've been talking about today. And it all kind of rhymes, whether through comparison, through analogy, or just words on words. Do you mind if I read this for everyone?
Go ahead.
So this is a summary of everything we talked about today.
Is it going to be a rhyming?
No, it's not a freestyle. It's just lines of text. Like I don't know, people can use it for hooks or whatever. Maybe I will use it. First one: if you want to get through to people, first get in front of people. Again, through and front. It's like this is 80% the same phrase. We just changed 2 words. You don't have to sell in your content to sell from your content. Reach is only an estimate. You're the only one who sees it. To everyone else, you're crushing it. This is an ego conversation. You can't change 20 years of user behavior with 1 or 2 updates. LinkedIn is always going to be text-only platform. It's always going to be writing first. Don't focus. Oh, this is a good one. I feel like I prepped this in case we talked about my philosophy of sharing everything, not gatekeeping. I don't do that. Don't focus on what you're taking from this world. Focus on what you're leaving in it. And the last one, I feel like it takes so little to do so much, yet we ask for so much to do so little. Those are the notes that I remember. But if you can find analogies in every single line that I've written here, it's literally 50-50. It's like 80% of these 2 halves are the same. It's only 2 things that are different. But when you say it, it sounds so good. When you say it,
I'll break it down for them.
Yeah.
If you want to be a better writer and if you want to be able to create hooks that people can remember, there's the information part, but there's the phraseology that really matters. So number 1 is if you use repetition. Repetition works really well, and that's what he's talking about. You basically say the same thing, then you just change a few words. Famously, I forget who said this, but the main thing is keep the main thing the main thing. Nice. And if nothing changes, nothing changes. And these become instantly quotable, and people will say, wow, that's a bar. That's what they will say. So if you can repeat things, it works really well. And there's a lot of examples. I can't think of it off the top of my head.
I can give you one more that you just done yesterday. The more you are, the more you are.
Thank you, sir. You dork. Okay, next thing is to rhyme. Rhyming, for whatever reason, psychologically, makes it feel more real and like it's a rule or a fact. So you've heard the expression, inch by inch, everything's a cinch. A lot of people don't know the rest of that, which is yard by yard, everything's hard. Right? An apple a day keeps the doctor away, so find ways to rhyme, and it's not that hard. If you can do that, your words will have more punch. And the last one, I think it was Simon Lancaster, who is a professional speechwriter. There's a TED Talk. Forgive me if that's not his name. He talks about balancing statements. It was the worst of times. It was the best of times. Sometimes you have to fall down before you get up. So you're doing balancing statements. And if you can do that, you're going to start to write more hooky words and phrases. These are basic structure. So when you study good copywriting, advertising writing, you'll start to see there's about 6 or 7 things that you can do, frameworks or styles. You just change the variables. That's it.
That was a really great explanation, man. I really appreciate that.
Thanks.
It's almost like as if you were a rapper.
And the one thing I would say about rap as an art form, especially because it's so much born from Black culture in America, is there is a lyrical quality about interpretation of words, the elasticity of words. I think white culture has tendency to be very proper and can't get beyond that. So there's not poetry and soul in the way they phrase things.
Don't.
So before Kanye went cray, if you listen to his lyrics, he's so good at the phrasing of ideas and how he bends things. Like his suit bespoke before he spoke. It's like, okay, I think only a person who has that kind of spirit, that lyrical quality, bends things. And this is where you have to let go of every rule you've learned in English class, literature class, and just write from your heart because it sounds right. Don't worry too much about what you think you're supposed to do. Right? Absolutely. Like think different is incorrect grammar.
Absolutely.
Right?
You got to do differently.
Yes.
Exactly.
But if they did that, it's not the same. That's it.
Precisely.
Jasmin, thanks for being here. This is episode 3. We're doing it live in person for the first time, and I hope we're able to do more of these. Thank you, everyone who like braved the traffic of Los Angeles and made it their way here. I appreciate you for being here, and thank you for being here, buddy.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you for everything you do. And by the way, I brought you a little gift from Bosnia.
Oh, the gift. We'll do this and we'll cut.
This is nothing too expensive, nothing too crazy.
You know I don't like diamonds. Come on.
No. You're a designer. I was on Times Square the other day. I saw this watch. It was like new release. They got words in the middle.
Okay.
You're gonna see, and it's like depending on your mood that day.
Yeah.
I was like, this is so crisp. Depending on your mood that day, you can switch the dial, and then you can switch out the phrase.
Okay.
So there's about 7 moods for 7 different days of the week.
Let me just tell you something. I don't know what's in the box, but I see this and it says Swatch. It takes me back to junior high.
No, absolutely. I'm saying like this.
Is there a Swatch watch in here?
Yeah, there's a Swatch watch.
This is so good, guys. You don't understand. In junior high, if you had a cool Swatch watch, you were the man. I did not have a cool Swatch watch. This is like emotional trauma being unveiled right before your eyes. So let me get into this.
Anyhow, it was like a it was like you have a very
trauma. Do I just rip this open?
Yeah. So I know you have a very peculiar style. Like you're colorful. Like it's almost like this grandeur to your outfits, right? It's not simple, but that's why I was like, that watch is gonna fit in so many of his outfits.
There's like already 80s graphics on here, guys. This is like a Mark Gonzalez Vision Street board right here.
Anyhow, it was like a 5-minute thing. I was passing by. I saw it, and there was a new design thing. And
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and then like, do you see the phrase in the middle? What's it say now?
I'll read it to him. Do whatever it's in between words right now. Yeah. Are there swear words in here?
No swear words.
Okay.
It's like do whatever the fudge you want. Do whatever the devil you want. Do whatever you know.
It is exactly speaking to me because it doesn't swear
it was
either.
like, this is so
I don't
crisp.
swear, guys. So it's got like this ransom note 80s kind of punk, graphics. Beautiful. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
That I got it right. Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
I appreciate it. Very good. Thank you. This video is made possible by our YouTube members. Yes, that's you. Huge thanks to the 1,000+ of you who support what we do. If you found this valuable, there's so much more inside the members only library. Workshops, whiteboard sessions, extended lessons, normally premium content, now included. Join for $1 a month to show your support and get early access, or go all in at $15 a month for full access. Hit the link below. See you on the inside.